When people think of Michigan, they usually picture our lakes, but if you ask me, the real hidden gem is our food. From sweet cherry pies to Detroit style pizza and creamy fudge that melts in your hand on Mackinac Island, Michigan has a flavor all its own. So if you're new here or you're just hungry for something local, stick around because I'm sharing 13 iconic Michigan foods that locals love and visitors never forget. Hi, I'm Jamie Broderick, a local realtor right here in Midland, Michigan, and I help people find their homes that fit their needs and make the process as smooth as possible. Buying a home is exciting, but it can also be overwhelming, especially if you're moving to a brand new state. So today, let's talk about something that we all love: food. Specifically, what makes Michigan taste like Michigan. Here are the iconic food and beverages that give you a real taste of the Great Lakes state. Let's start with one of the most iconic staples, the Coney Dog. Now, despite its name, this isn't a New York thing. Coney Dogs are pure Detroit, and they're serious business around here. It's a natural casing beef hot dog nestled in a warm steamed bun topped with a rich meat-based chili and a stripe of yellow mustard and a generous sprinkle of diced onions. And here's where things get really fun because downtown Detroit has their very own Coney Dog rivalry. Lafayette Coney Island and American Coney Island sit right next door to each other, and people are fiercely loyal to their favorite. Some say Lafayette's chili is spicier, while others swear that American's snap is unbeatable. Locals even joke that you're not officially from Detroit until you've picked a side. You'll hear stories of people growing up going to one spot with their parents and then sneaking over to try the other one when they got older, like it was some sort of a culinary rebellion. So if you're Team Lafayette or Team American, or just here for the chili, when you bite into a real Coney Dog, you're tasting a piece of Motor City history. All right, moving on to the next. Let's talk about pasties. Let me just say this. If you've never had a real Michigan pasty, you are in for such a treat. There's something about the flaky, buttery crust wrapping around the tender chunks of beef, potatoes, onions, and rutabaga. It's the kind of meal that doesn't just fill you up, it comforts you. I love mine hot and fresh and straight out of the paper bag, preferably on a chilly afternoon with a hot drink in hand. It's a hearty in the best way possible, and all the flavors just melt together. And here's the truth. When the crust is done right, golden with the right thickness and a crisp, thick edge, I could eat that all on its own. But the filling seals the deal. It's savory, simple, and so satisfying. You don't need to dress it up. I prefer a little bit of ketchup. But if you're a troll, aka living under the bridge in the Lower Peninsula, you might be more apt to gravitate towards gravy. Ugh. Every time I make a trip to the UP to visit family, grabbing a pasty is a non-negotiable. There's something about stopping at a little roadside shop to get one. And trust me, they are well advertised, so you are not gonna miss where to pick one up at. There is one true pasty shop here in Midland, and when I asked for ketchup instead of gravy that is advertised with, the chef popped his head out of the kitchen and said, "Are you from the UP?" And although I'm not, my dad's family is. Next, we have Detroit style pizza. Now, if you've never had it, just trust me, this isn't your average slice of pizza. Detroit style pizza is thick, it's crispy, it's cheesy, and it's completely in a league of its own. The crust is light and airy on the inside, but it has this amazing golden crunch on the outside, and thanks to the square blue steel pans that it's baked in. Fun fact, those pans were actually originally used in auto factories, only in Detroit, right? And unlike most pizzas, the sauce actually goes on top of the cheese. It's a little backwards, but it's backwards in the best way. That layering helps keep the crust perfectly crisp while locking in all that gooey, melty goodness. This whole style of pizza was born at Buddy's Rendezvous in 1946. Now, Buddy's Pizza, and it's still one of the top places to grab a slice, okay? There are locations all across Michigan now, but ask anyone from Detroit and they'll tell you there's nothing like getting it fresh from the original spot. And there's a little tip from the locals: always go for the corner piece. That's where you get that ultimate cheese caramelization and those crispy edges that everyone fights over. And one bite in, you'll know exactly why people are so loyal to it. And now let's talk about one of my absolute favorite fall traditions in Michigan, cider and donuts. There's just something about that first crisp weekend in September when you pull up to a cider mill, the smell of cinnamon is in the air, and the line for fresh donuts is already out the door. One of the most iconic spots is Franklin Cider Mill, where they press the apples right on site, and you can actually watch the whole process through a big viewing window. During peak season, they go through around 120 bushels of apples per pressing, and let me tell you, it tastes like fall in a cup. But for me, this goes beyond just a seasonal treat. My grandparents have a large farm up north, and we spend a day every October with 4 generations picking, cleaning, and pressing cider while Grandma bakes the fresh donuts in the kitchen. It's a way that we bring family together and keep tradition alive in my family. That cider and donut combo is so simple, but it holds so much meaning. And if you're visiting for the first time or keeping a decades-long family tradition alive, those small rituals, the scent of warm apples, the laughter, the sticky fingers with the cinnamon sugar donuts, that's the kind of memory that sticks. Just like the cinnamon sugar on your fingertips. Now let's talk about something sweet, and I mean really sweet. Mackinac Island fudge. If you've ever visited the island, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The moment you step off the ferry, you're hit with this warm, sugary scent of fudge drifting through the air. It's not just a treat, it's a full-on tradition, and that's actually where the nickname Fudgies comes from. Well, locals call the tourists who can't resist taking some home. Fudge making on Mackinac Island dates all the way back to the late 1800s, and shops like the original Murdoch's and Reba's will still make it the old-fashioned way, cooking the fudge in copper kettles and then pouring and hand paddling it on the marble slabs. It's a process that's just as memorizing to watch as it is delicious to enjoy. During peak season, they make more than 10,000 pounds of fudge per day. And yes, it's absolutely worth standing in line for. Whether you go for a classic chocolate or something a little wild like a maple walnut or a turtle, fudge from Mackinac Island isn't just dessert, it's a piece of pure Michigan nostalgia. Okay, if you're from Michigan, or honestly, if you've ever even visited here from anywhere, you've probably been handed an ice cold Faygo at some point. And if you haven't yet, well, you're in for a fizzy little treat. Faygo is our hometown soda. Bold, sweet, and colorful. The flavors are really fun. Red pop, that's also strawberry. Rock and rye, grape, peach, pineapple, and cream soda, the list goes on. Everyone has their favorite, and yes, it's the kind of thing that people get very opinionated about. And personally, I'm a sucker for the red pop on a hot summer day, but it's super sweet in my opinion, so I don't drink too much. And there's one thing that Faygo isn't just good, it's ours. It's made right here in Detroit and has been since 1907, over 100 years. And the original recipes were based on frosting flavors from the founder's bakery, which kind of explains why every sip feels like a sugar rush from childhood. It's also one of the reasons Michiganders call it pop instead of soda. Faygo helped that word stick. You can grab a bottle from a party store or crack one open at a backyard cookout, and Faygo is pure Michigan in a bottle. Sweet, fizzy, colorful, and full of personality. You can't talk about Michigan food favorites without bringing up Kogals. If you've ever tasted them, you already know why people are so loyal. Let's start with the flavor. Kogel hot dogs are just different. They have the perfect snap when you bite in, and a true meat flavor, not some meat-flavored sort of meat. You can grill the beef frankfurters, slicing up their classic baloney, or go for full comfort food with a Polish sausage stuffed with jalapeno and cheddar, and every single bite hits. And I'm not kidding, I've had clients ship them after they moved to Texas because they know that they can't find anything quite like it. What's wild is how many different products they make. They make over 35 products, from bratwurst to garlic ring bologna to deli-style olive loaf. Some, like their Bockwurst or their holiday Polish, are just available during certain seasons, which makes them even more special. And don't get me started on their pickle bologna. Yes, that's a thing, and yes, I love it. I'm weird. And the reason it all tastes so fresh, Kogals delivers directly to every store still. That means no long warehouse shelves, no questionable expiration dates, just high quality, made in Michigan meat. They've been doing it this way since 1916 when Albert Kogel brought his recipes from Germany to Flint. And today they're still making it the same way. No shortcuts, no cheap fillers, just real ingredients and honest craftsmanship. If you've never tried Kogals before, start with their skinless dogs or the Viennas. Those are my favorites. In one bite, you'll understand why it's not just a local brand, it's a Michigan tradition. Next up is Michigan Summertime Classic that's as sweet as it is iconic, cherry pie. Traverse City isn't just beautiful, it's officially known as the cherry capital of the world. And once summer hits, the entire region turns into cherry heaven. Michigan grows about 75% of the country's tart cherries. Most of them are Montmorency, which are perfect for baking. Locals turn them into everything from jams to sauces to cherry wine, but nothing beats a slice of fresh cherry pie. If you're looking for a place to try the real thing, Grand Traverse Pie Company is a favorite. They make their pies using cherries picked straight from the local farms, and you can taste the difference in every bite. It's sweet, tangy, and perfectly golden on the crust. And if you really want the full cherry experience, you gotta plan a trip to Traverse City during the National Cherry Festival. It's a week-long celebration of all things cherry, complete with pie-eating contests, parades, and farm fresh treats around every corner. It's one of those uniquely Michigan things that you just have to experience for yourself. Now let's take a detour to something deep fried, rich, and absolutely irresistible. A Punchki. These pillowy jam or custard-filled donuts are a Polish tradition that Michigan has wholeheartedly adopted, especially in places like Hamtramck or Dearborn, where the Polish American community is still very strong. And let me tell you, when Punchki Day, also known as Fat Tuesday, rolls around, it's like a statewide holiday. People line up before sunrise at their favorite bakeries just to snag a box. And unlike regular donuts, Punchkis are made with a dense yeast raised dough that's enriched with eggs and butter. They're fried until they're golden brown, stuffed with things like raspberry, prune, custard or lemon, and finished with the glaze or dusting of powdered sugar. They're indulgent, yes, but totally worth it. I've even had clients bring them to final walkthroughs or closings just to celebrate. And if you're new to Michigan, don't wait until Fat Tuesday. Find a good Polish bakery and treat yourself. You'll understand why we go a little wild for these once-a-year classics. All right, now time for a treat that's as colorful as it is nostalgic. Superman ice cream. If you grew up in Michigan, there's a good chance that this was your first real ice cream obsession. With its bright swirls of blue, pink, and yellow, Superman ice cream isn't just eye-catching, it's a rite of passage. It's said to have originated with Detroit's Stroh's Ice Cream Company, and ever since it's been a staple at ice cream parlors across the state. It's my daughter's favorite. I had to retry it as an adult, and what does it taste like? If that's probably part of the fun, is no one really knows. I kind of feel like it tastes like different flavors of cotton candy. It's really sweet for me. Some people swear by a bubblegum twist, and others taste fruity cereal vibes. Anyways, you'll spot it in mom and pop scoop shops from Detroit all the way up to the UP, often right next to the classic vanilla and the chocolate, except this one always has a line of kids waiting in front of it because it's playful and it's weird in the best way. And it's one of the most Michigan things that you can eat on a summer day. Now let's clear up a little myth. The Boston Cooler, it's not from Boston. It's 100% Detroit. This fizzy treat combines Verner's, our local homegrown super zesty ginger ale, with vanilla ice cream to make a float that's sweet, creamy, just a little spicy. It gets its name not from the city, but from Boston Boulevard in Detroit. And if you've never had Verner's before, it's not your average ginger ale. It's got a bold, almost medicinal kick that somehow works perfectly with ice cream. Verner's has been around since 1866, making it one of the oldest soft drinks in the US, and it's a huge part of Michigan culture. Anytime we have a bellyache, we grab a Verner's at the store. Others turned it into this float and made it a summertime favorite, and if you like root beer floats, this takes it to a whole new level. All right, next up, a snack that's been crunching its way into Michigan hearts for generations. Can you guess? Better Made potato chips. They're founded in Detroit back in 1930. Better Made is more than just a chip brand, it's a Michigan icon. The flavors are bold, the crunch is just right, and whether you're into a classic barbecue, sour cream, or the fiery red hot, there's something for everyone. And yes, they're still source many of their potatoes from Michigan farms, which is so cool. Chances are, if you opened a school lunch in this state anytime in the last few decades, a bag of Better Made potato chips was in it. It's one of those comfort foods that instantly brings you back. Locals love it, expats crave it, and if you've never tried them, consider this your sign to try them. And finally, let's wrap it up with something fresh, local, and straight from the Great Lakes. Great Lakes whitefish. It's caught in the cold, clear water of Lake Superior, Huron, in Michigan, and it's a flaky, mild-tasting fish that has been a staple in our state for centuries. It's served up every which way: smoked, battered, fried, grilled, or even mixed into spreads that you're gonna find at farmers markets and fish shacks all across northern Michigan. Places like Charlevoix, Pasti, and even Mackinac City take serious pride in their whitefish. It's not just tasty, it also supports Michigan's commercial fishing industry, which is a vital part of the economy and local culture. And there you have it, a flavorful road trip through Michigan, one bite at a time. If you're new to the area or if you've lived here for your whole life, these foods are part of what makes the Great Lakes state so unique. And if you're thinking about making Michigan your home, especially in or around Great Lakes Bay, I'd love to help you find a place where you can build memories and maybe even stock your kitchen with a few local favorites. My number is right here on the screen. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more local insights. And I will see you in the next one.